Coach Jake. That's me. Hope you guys are doing good today. I want to talk to you about how you're going to turn a no into a number one. How are you going to turn that no into a number one? What's up, Vasquez, Jimmy Hovey, Nature Boy? What's up, Nate? Way with words, Tanari. Guys, hit me up in the chat as ever. I got to try to figure out this whole new format that they got on this broadcasting platform. Anyway, how to turn no into number one. That is really what we're going to talk about today. Hope you guys are doing good. Give me a number one. NGLFR, what's up? Rhino King Josiah, what's up, dude? Chance, hey, I need some technique advice. We're teaching some kids and I need some good techniques for them. Well, how old are the kids? What level are they? Here's the advice I'm going to give you. Don't worry as much about technique as you do about their body size and their body type. If they're tall and lanky, like I am and I was, they are going to not be fast. They're not going to be doing duck unders, maybe even changing their levels. Not for them if they're tall and lanky. You understand? Whereas if they're short and stocky, they got power, they got speed, but they don't have leverage and reach like the tall guys. That's where I would start. Now, how do we turn a no into number one? Okay, so I want to welcome all of you world changers out there to the No.1 Podcast with Coach Jake. Guys, hit me up in the chats. Give me a number one if you like what we're talking about. The Vision Quest Podcast, got to get you on. Let's go, man. Hit me up. Give me a DM. I'll give you a great show. So this is really a podcast about lighting a fire under those people that are trying to change the world. Okay? I'm trying to shake up your perspective on things, if that makes sense. So this show is about taking massive amounts of action. Do you have any idea how much crazy work I do? People are shocked. I had a guy on Facebook, man. He said that I was inexhaustible. No, I'm exhausted, but I do it anyway. So I'm going to push you out your comfort zone, and definitely no retreat, man. No retreat. We are not retreating. So welcome to another exhilarating episode. You and I, we're going to delve deep into a concept that I hope will transform your perspective, supercharge your ability, hopefully, to make an impact in the world, and really take it to the next level of whatever it is you're trying to do. In particular, I'm aiming this at business people and athletes because I wrote this book called Sportify. Let me see. I got a copy right here. You see my new book? I don't know if you can see it. Sportify. Go get it. It's at Amazon. I think I got the it's on Audible. I got the audiobook up, man. Talking about getting stuff done. Anyway, everything that you want in your life. Oh, thanks, Vision Quest, man. He sent me a DM. I appreciate it. Everything you want in your life is ultimately a sale. Okay, I'm just giving you this as a metaphor. I'm using go back and forth. I use sports metaphors and I use business metaphors. And sometimes they're not metaphors. Sometimes I'm actually talking about sports. Sometimes talking about business. But sometimes when I'm talking about sports, I use business metaphors. And sometimes when I'm talking business, I use sports metaphors, hence Sportify, my new book. Go grab a copy. Anyway, everything is a sale. Everything. You heard me? From getting your kids to eat their vegetables, to getting a new job, to getting a date, to getting a brand new client, to making some money. It all boils down to one thing, and that is your ability to sell. You may not like it, but I don't care because it's a fact. Okay. Your ability to sell is crucial for your ability to succeed in life. Okay. So if we think of it that way, if everything is a sale, then everything you want is ultimately a commission, right? This is a great concept. I got this from my mentor, Grant Cardone. The guy's a genius. Now, every desire, every dream, every goal. What's up, Scott Thompson, MMA or Arcello BJJ? I can't pronounce some of these names, man. Everything you want, man, It's a commission, man. You got to earn your commission when you close the sale. That car you want, a vacation, a thriving business that you're building. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe you just want to have a banging Instagram. They're all different forms of commissions. They're waiting for you. You got to get out and start banging, man. Massive action. Every desire, every goal that you have is a commission. Okay? So you might say, Coach Jake, I am not a salesperson. Let me tell you something. If you are alive, you are a salesperson. All right? You have been selling since the day you were born. What do you think of baby crying? Gets mama to put the teat in its mouth. It's trying to sell, man. It's creating discomfort. Oh, man, somebody shut that kid up. You ever have a salesperson like that just bugging you until they get the deal? It's all commissions, man, right? If you want to achieve your goals, man, you're going to have to get serious about this. So here's the kicker, my friends. There is an inherent discomfort that arises when you hear no before you hear yes, okay? Everybody'd rather hear yes. Everybody wants to get into heaven, but nobody wants to die. You got to hear no before you're going to hear yes. Most times in life. Are you one of those guys that gives up after like 2 weeks of something, or girls? That ain't going to cut it, man. Okay? You're going to have to get those no's, man. At first, you're not going to be inoculated to it. You can be all sensitive, like all these social justice warriors, all sensitive. But let me tell you, man, that's how you get tough. You got to get the wind knocked out of you a couple times and then get back into the fight and tackle it head on. Right? Are you feeling discomfortable now? Well, if so, that is really where the growth begins, is when you're uncomfortable. Muscle growth hurts. That's why people is when they're lifting weights and stuff, because that's what makes the muscle grow. So the thing you have to really, I think, is an edge is when you believe in what you're selling. So if you believe in what you're selling, what's up, Jay Espinoza? Happy to see you, bro. Hope you're doing good. If you believe in what you're selling, it could be a product, service, yourself. Okay? You need to put the benefit that you're going to give these people above your own discomfort. Do you understand me? You have to put the benefit that the other person's going to receive over your own discomfort. I am the king of having hard conversations. It drives my wife crazy. But when there is something bugging me, I go right at it. I don't hem and haw. I don't sit there and hedge. I bring it up. Not just with her, with everybody. That's what drives her crazy. She's used to it with me. I mean, I think that's why we've been married 17 years, is because I'm able to have these conversations. Right? You feel me? So you've got to prioritize helping these people. If you truly believe in what you're selling, you've got to prioritize it over your comfort and theirs, because you're going to improve their lives. Why do you think I'm so crazy and get in so many arguments about scientific wrestling? I'm like, dude, this is the best deal, man. I've spent most of my adult life working on this project, learning from the very best on the planet. Like, prove me wrong. Let's have a discussion. People don't want to do it because it's uncomfortable. Let's say you're a BJJ guy, and I love BJJ, but let's say you're a BJJ guy and you've only invested in that. Well, you're going to feel really uncomfortable if you still are a third-degree black belt and you don't know how to take somebody down, right? Or you don't know how to stay on top, or you get hammered when a high school wrestling champ comes in and he's a white belt and you're kind of hiding. Those are uncomfortable conversations. You've got to do that. I actually look at these uncomfortable conversations as part of taking massive action. Colossal, earth-shattering action. You got to get in there. You got to get in the scrum. Okay. Don't stand on the sidelines. Don't be in the audience. Don't worry about fear. Just feel it and do it anyway. Okay. So let's handle this here, right now. You've got to just go head first. You got to do it. I know you have, when I'm talking about uncomfortable conversations or discomfort, especially when you're trying to help somebody, you need to do it. You need to do it. Plunge right in, man. Plunge into it, not away from it. Because if you're not charging into discomfort, man, you are retreating. I hate to say it. That's what cowards do. Cowards retreat. Are you retreating? Are you retreating? Well, if you want to succeed, man, if you win, retreat is not the best strategy. You could win on a fluke. And usually it's only a feint because you're actually not really retreating. And don't pretend that it's a feint if you are actually retreating. You know what I'm talking about here. So think of it this way, man. You're having these uncomfortable conversations. You're advancing, not retreating. Somebody's going to react emotionally, man. Does that mean you do too? No, don't fight fire with fire. Fight fire with water. When a baby starts crying, do you start crying too? I mean, come on, man. No, you acknowledge their emotions, you help them, you try to distract them, and you keep advancing towards your goal. Maybe it's changing their diaper or feeding them food. Why? Because their emotions, the baby or the person you're having an uncomfortable conversation with, could be a potential client. Their emotions are not your emotions. Why are you buying into that? You are there to solve people's problems, to help them, not amplify the drama. Make sense? Got a question here. SG Vasquez 53. Tips for keeping kids motivated about wrestling without pushing them too hard. 7-year-old daughter killing in both wrestling and BJJ. Dude, let me just tell you something. Don't push them. I love it, dude. I'm like way into it. My kids, I don't push them. But what I do is I have fun with it. I wrestle with my kids all the time. I get in there and mess around with them. And let me just tell you something. 11 years old, my youngest boy, and my 13-year-old boy, and who, by the way, is almost as tall as me now. He's like a freak. He's like a giant. Yeah, I wrestle with them, not all the time, because I don't want to like ruin it. And I don't ever let them win. They're super competitive, and they are killers. And they still have to both tag team. I mean, and even together, they still don't win. My 13-year-old is getting pretty big and strong, but he doesn't have any technique or strategy or ideas. Anyway, I would not push. I would not pull. I would just present it and let them get their own passion. I know that's maybe not what you want to hear. But if you start doing, like, there's something called extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. I actually go into depth in this book. It's actually what the crux of the difference between gamification and sportification, as I define it, is that sportification solves the problem of intrinsic motivation, which is internal, versus like dangling carrots like, hey, if you go to PJJ or you go to wrestling, I'll get you an Xbox. That actually, those external extrinsic motivators, even like belts, crush motivation. It's counterintuitive. You need to develop that fire inside. And so some of that has to be like going with what their desires are, right? Now, think about this from the sales standpoint. If you're trying to sell her, right, your 7-year-old on, how would you sell her, right? Well, the first thing is you need to actually get involved in her mind. What is it that she wants in her life? And figure out if the wrestling or the jiu-jitsu can help her get it. Now, one thing that I think is universal about wrestling in particular, also entrepreneurship, is that it is the best path to personal development, to growth, to challenging yourself. So, if she's 7, I don't know your daughter. I don't know what motivates her. But, if she's into superheroes or into anything like that, you could be like, man, how do you think you get to be superhuman? You've got to go do tough things. And sometimes you got to get your butt kicked and get back in there. And it's not about winning or losing. It's about challenging yourself and improving every time. Right? So remember, negotiations, it's more of a dance than a wrestling match. Right? You don't want to fight. You're trying to. So the crux of business is agreement. That's why they're called contracts. Business contracts are known as agreements. So we're trying to get to an agreement. You're trying to align your goals with the goals of the person that you're trying to help. I don't know if that helps you. I hope that helps, right? But it is, negotiating in sales is really more of a dance where you want to start setting the pace and leading and not fighting, right? So let's start thinking about like that metaphor a little bit. Okay. Now, when we face an objection, a no, our instinct a lot of times is to back off and retreat and say, oh, okay, yeah, no. But you need to change that. Okay, I'm not saying violate consent. I'm absolutely not saying that. So like in the context of like no means no, of course, yeah. But let's change it. Let's keep it in that genre. You have to persist. How many relationships have happened because the person said, hey, man, I want to be your friend. I want to be your boyfriend. I want to be your girlfriend. And the person says no. But they persist and they change up and they're clever and they try to figure it out. And eventually the person comes around. Was consent violated? No, I'm libertarian. So libertarian is like the politics of consent, like applying this idea of consent unilaterally to everything, right? So you've got to keep persisting and you've got to start thinking about like how it is that what you have is going to serve this person. Now, there's a reason why there's such a thing as a closing ratio, because it is consensual. Not everybody's going to say yes, but you have to push. You have to almost insist. Does that make sense? You have to lean into these things. So if somebody gives you a no or a complaint or an objection, handle it. And the only way you handle it is by getting into it and realizing what these objections are. Does that make sense? You're not going to get into this path of discovery if you're not leaning into the rejection. Failure, you can't be afraid of it. Okay? So lean into it, confront it. Don't see it as a blockade. Terry Mary Moo says, I agree with that. Strong point. Thank you, sir. Don't see it as a blockade. It's a stepping stone. Okay? To that yes, it's just, you got to keep going. Follow up. Follow up. And when things get tough, remind yourself, okay, yeah, maybe I've got some discomfort. Maybe this is uncomfortable. But don't think about that. Think about the commission, what it is that you get. And again, I'm not talking money. Terry Mary Moo says, defended by Straffeted, LOL sniping. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, buddy. Anyway, the victory is sweet when you do win. And sometimes the more the struggle and the effort, the sweeter the victory. Right? The rewards that you reap after a hard-fought battle. Your dreams, your goals, your commission, they're all on the other side of that discomfort. Right? That emotional gap. There's an emotional gap between no and yes. And it can be daunting, especially to some people, some of you guys that are timid or just aren't used to this. The only way you're going to get used to it is through repetition. You got to get out and do it. Right? It's a test of your commitment. Are you the kind of person that commits to something and then does whatever it takes? If not, you might want to reflect on why you're not getting what you want. If you don't have commitment. How badly do you want to close the deal? Don't BS yourself, man. How much do you believe in? If you really believe in what you're selling, you'll push. I mean, a bad example that's non-consent based was all the injections that went down a couple years ago. Think how bad. And people weren't really getting a commission. They thought they were because they listened to these, they're brainwashed or don't have critical faculty. And so they just listen to these authority figures like Fauci. But, right? Push. But instead of for dumb crap, push for your dreams. Don't be pushing to get people to take an experimental injection that's going to give you a heart attack or blood clots or whatever. Sophianne 0.020. Hey, bro, thanks for this account. Yeah, hey, appreciate you, man. Checking in. Everybody give me where are you watching from? How bad do you want it, man? Are you ready to be uncomfortable? This is probably one of the stupidest things of the modern age, is that we are slaves to comfort. This is why everybody's just barely scraping by, because everybody's like inoculated to all this like laziness. They're just so good at being lazy. Shad for president, Cobb County, Georgia. What's up, man? Good to see you, dude. So this is the journey to be an expert closer. What's a closer? That's somebody who gets what they want. A master of selling, not necessarily for money, but for money too. Money ain't bad. I ain't no communist. You're not just going to become a better person, a better business owner. You're going to become more influential. You'll have a bigger impact in the world. You can, like, actually, if you keep this going, man, you could be a force to be reckoned with. Like, for real, not just saying that to yourself in the mirror and then you go out and you're a timid little mouse. But you got to get good at handling challenges and discomfort, and you got to hit it head on. Okay? So if somebody responds emotionally, like, did you assume my gender, or some just knee-jerk, not thought out emotional stupidity, it is your job to diffuse the situation, because they're emotional and you aren't. It's like a firefighter, like a skilled firefighter with a blazing, out of control fire, man. Cool it down. Don't put gas on it, put water on it. Don't fight fire with fire, fight fire with water. Right? The key here is remain poised. Listen. Even acknowledge, even agree. Doesn't mean agreeing is not unethical. Being agreeable is not unethical. You could say, I agree insofar as you understand where they're coming from. It doesn't mean that they're right. Try it. Acknowledge their emotions and then keep pushing on the negotiation, on your point. You've got to do this, man. You do this, you'll see a change. These people will trust you more. What's up, Catch Jedi? Thank you, dude. Man, you're awesome, bro. Thanks. Just grabbed a badge, man. Appreciate that, dude. You're the best. Let me see if I'm missing anybody's comments, because sometimes I get I get on this and I miss the comments. But listen, guys, it is time for you to stop with retreating. Okay? Grant Cardone says there's 4 types of action. Okay? 1 is to do nothing. 2 is to retreat, which is like worse even than doing nothing. See you, Will. Good to see you. Thanks again, bro, for the badge. I appreciate you. First is doing nothing. 2nd is retreating. 3rd is doing what everybody else does, normal. But 4 is where it is, man. Massive action. Dive in. Push against the universe hard. Get uncomfortable. Acknowledge your emotions, other people's emotions, but stay focused on what is the goal. What's the target, man? Don't get pulled off the target. No matter what. No matter what. Death. Close friends. Betrayal. Okay, it sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. I'm saying don't get pulled off your target no matter what. Keep pushing. Keep advancing, even if it's inch by inch. Dude, the last 6 weeks have been brutal. We've had record rains here in Colorado. My house has flooded 3 times. Had to move my boys, the 2 I was talking about earlier, up out of their bedrooms. My house is a mess, and I've got so much work. This is the last thing I needed. and I'm still freaking pushing, man. It's like, oh, the water's coming at me, you know, like, but I'm like a trout, man. I'm like, nope, I'm heading upstream, bro. Heading upstream. I gotta make some little trout babies. Shad for president says, I want to be successful, make a lot of money. Where should I start? I'm aware that it's going to be hard and I won't quit. Okay, well, I don't know what you do for a living, Shad. The first thing is I'd see if, you know, however you are making money now, if there's a way you can prove that. That's always the quickest, fastest thing to do. So if you got a job, go ask your boss, man, like, what can I do to be more valuable? It's going to probably be revenue oriented. And a lot of times the fastest way to make more money in a company is to move into sales. And sales is hard. Like I said, you got to not be afraid to have these uncomfortable conversations. Call. I had a client today complaining because some sales guys kept bugging him. I'm like, dude, you're just jealous. Like, I mean, I didn't say that, but in my mind, I'm like, dude, you would have the money you want if you had half the gumption and drive and determination and willingness to push that these guys do. And so that's what I've got to get them, right? So that's the first thing I do, Shad. I hope that helps. So keep pushing, keep advancing, keep selling. All right. I believe in you. I know that you can do this. Remember, with every no, you're a little bit closer to number one. Don't retreat. Charge forward. Okay? Your commission is waiting for you on the other side. All right, guys. I've got literally 5 minutes for questions. Anybody wants to jump in on the chat, hit me up. I will hit you back with answers, questions. I don't know. Maybe I don't got the answer. Maybe you could stump me. Shad for president says, I just turned 17. I work at Zaxby's as my first job. What would you recommend me looking into in other forms of income that I could start today? I would get into sales, dude. You're 17 years old. Probably one of the easiest, fastest ways. Go to a car dealership. Go wash cars. Go do menial. Start hanging out with the sales guys, especially the guys that are good, not the ones that complain and make excuses. So you're going to probably make the same amount of money as you do at this Zaxby's, but you're going to be learning a skill. Figure that business out, man. I'll tell you, like that's I love car dealerships. I think they're fantastic businesses. I think they're even better than like being a realtor, being a car sales guy. You can make a lot of money, and then imagine if you start moving up. Let's say you start at Volkswagen or Honda, okay, or something like that, or a used car lot. But you're 17. Let's say by the time you're 20, you're already there and you understand the sales game. You hit 21, they give you a job selling. You figure out how to get good at that. You move out of Hyundai, you move to Audi. Now you're selling you're still making a 10% commission, but before you were making on a $50,000 car, now you're making on an $80,000 car. You just doubled your income by just jumping to another kind of dealership. Then you get good at Audi and you go over to Bentley and you start selling a couple Continental GTs. Like that's where I'm going for. That's the next car I want to get, man, Bentley Continental GT. Although I might get a Cybertruck just because, I don't know, I'm curious. But that's probably not a good enough reason. But that Bentley Continental GT, I've wanted one of those for a long time. Anyway, now you go up to that, you got a $250,000 car. And you've 5x'd the commission that you get. And you could be doing that by the time you're 30. You get a 10% commission on a Bentley that's say $250,000. Now you're making 20 grand for one sale. Let's say you make 3 sales a month. Now you're doing 60 grand a month. You're at almost like $700,000 a year, almost $1 million on income. Then you take that income, that earned income, and you push it into something passive like businesses like car washes or real estate or something like that that cash flows. Now you're already done. You could be done and retired by the time you're 35. But the problem is you're sitting there listening to people who have you playing it safe and have never really done anything. Here's the number one piece of advice I give you, Shad, right now. This is great advice. Don't take advice from somebody on a subject that they haven't succeeded in. So don't take money advice from somebody that's not what you want to be. If you want to be a millionaire or you want to be a billionaire, most millionaires are made through real estate. Most billionaires are made through private equity deals, businesses. Okay. So maybe real estate will get you to $1 million and private equity will get you to $1 billion. You understand? So that would be my first advice. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate everybody showing up. Hope you're well. Guys, you need to sign up for Coach and Catch. The Scientific Wrestling Accelerator Camp, it's going up 15% at the end of this month, man. It's already the 6th. On the 1st of August, you will have to pay 15% more. I've already got about 5 people signed up. Don't miss out, man. We've got, obviously, like friends of scientific wrestling, Josh Barnett, the War Master, dude, blew everybody's mind at our very last camp of last season of spring in Pinion Hills at our affiliate gym there. Dude, we're blowing up the affiliate program too, man. And by the way, only affiliate gyms now host the accelerator camps. And dude, I made that such a sweet deal, man. You're seriously like, if you own a gym or you know somebody who owns a gym, dude, I'm just telling you, man, you are missing out. You're missing out. I'm telling you, dude. Just brought on our first sales guy. Super excited about that. Yeah, things are blowing up, but you don't want to miss it because Josh will be repeating. Wade Chalice, hello. Can I tell you something? How many of you guys are like, oh, I wish I would have gone when Billy was there? Dude, Wade 72, man, get the knowledge, dude. This guy is the world's best. Like, he's an incredible coach. Josh Barnett, Wade Chalice, the Pinisher, King Mo Law, freestyle national champ, Risen champ, Bellator champ. Come on, dude. Wrestling is the greatest predictor of champions in MMA, and I am bringing these guys to you. Look, I'm almost crying. You're making me sad. Like, do something. Take action. Take a risk. Improve yourself, man. Stop playing it safe. You've got to swing for the fences. I was at GrowthCon 2 years ago. Diamond ticket, $10,000 each. Me and my wife each got 20 grand for a weekend event. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you so you know what's possible. In that room, I listened to Donald Trump, Lloyd Blankfein, who used to run Goldman Sachs, Tillman Fertitta, a guy who has like a $10 billion net worth, Grant Cardone, $2 billion almost, Glenn Stearns, like wealthy dudes. And you know what the number one theme that they all said? They said, it's a bigger risk to not take risks. And that's probably what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. What you want is on the other side of being uncomfortable. Invest in yourself, man. Nothing is better than wrestling or entrepreneurship for personal development, period. Takes a freaking noodly guy like me and makes you superhuman because you grind. You know how to push through. When the universe pushes back, you're like, F you, and you dent the freaking universe when it tries to push you. You dent it. Okay? You guys are sitting there being wusses, man. Seriously. Get on it. Coachingcatch.com. Who else? Brandon Ruiz. Dude, one of my closest friends. This guy is a stud. Sam Crescent, another incredibly good friend of mine. 3rd degree, Chris Howard black belt, but pretty much does catch wrestling. Jesse Merez. Harry Smith, son of the British Bull. Dude, you're missing out. And if those guys aren't all going to be at one camp, they're spread out. I got them in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I've got them in Norman, Oklahoma. I've got them in Denver. I've got them up on the border of Colorado and Nebraska. I've got it in Phoenix. I've got it in Orlando. I've got it in Windsor, Ontario, right next door to Detroit. Get the season pass, dude. The season pass, you'll save 30%. And if you go, it buys you 10 camps at 30% discount, which makes you, after your 10th camp, if you're not a complete idiot and you're actually applying yourself and working, You'll hit assistant coach. You do that again, you'll be full coach. You could do that in a year and a half, but you don't. You don't. You come up with excuses. You bullshit yourself. And another day passes. We're already 7 months into 2023. It's more than half gone. It's like more than half gone. What have you done? I've launched, so I've run 3 companies, raised 3 kids, dealt with 3 floods, published a book, did a tour of the country with the Scientific Wrestling. I mean, I can't even list everything. Launched an AI marketing agency. I got certified in AI. I am not waiting. You have to push. Head over, go to Coach and Catch, sign up, register, or go to scientificwrestling.com/season pass, get the discount. And you could learn just with the season pass. And by the way, your first camp, $377, comes with Scientific Wrestling lifetime membership, comes with a series of books, comes with a t-shirt, all that. Every camp after that, $250. 2-day camp, 6 hours each day, 12 hours of training for $250 with top tier talent. You're not there, you're not serious about getting good. I'm just trying to give you these opportunities. I don't have to do this. You know how many times I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do this anymore. It's just my passion. But honestly, the lack of people having any kind of self-respect and guts to go out there and do this, it doesn't really affect me. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just trying to help you, man. I'm just trying to help you. Get over to coachandcatch.com. Got the poster, got all the details. You can get the cheaper version at scientificwrestling.com/season pass. If you're really smart, you just affiliate. You affiliate. Then you get complete tuition paid for 2, you and a buddy. You get a Mace Bell cert. You get to resell everything. I mean, it's like a business in a box too. You could sell lessons in wrestling. You could sell, in person. You can create DVDs. How many of our guys have I gotten deals with BJJ Fanatics? Like, probably more than I can count on my hands. 2 hands. I take care of our guys. And you're not one of them. But I'm inviting you. You're like, oh, I'd rather sit at home with my hands in my pants, playing Call of Duty, pretending to live. Do it, man. I don't know what to tell you. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I'm out of here. Hit up the socials. Hit me in the DMs if I can help you. Appreciate all you guys showing up. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Next week, dude, is going to be a bear. I've got so much to do. I don't even know what I'm going to do. But my wife and I, for our software company, we're going to New Jersey. Going to tour the largest Hindu temple outside of India. They're a client. Also going to head to Maury's Piers, their client. Fantastic time to be alive. Fulfill Destiny Now says, thank you for what you do. Thank you, my friend. Show up. You guys got to show up. That's rule number 1. You have to show up. You have to show up. You have to get in the room. Like, you ever hear these people who crash parties? They go in the back door. It's like illegal. They're really pushing on comfort. I'm not saying do anything unethical. I'm saying do it the ethical way. Show up, get in the room with these great guys. Get the rub. Learn how they think. Fulfill Destiny Now says, you and your wife are a lovely couple. Thanks, dude. Very lucky, man. 17 years, 18 years together, 17 years married, 3 kids. Crazy. And I grew up in such a broken home. My parents divorced when I was 4. My dad remarried. He remarried and divorced. He was married and divorced 4 different times. My mom twice. I didn't have a model for it. But again, I wanted that commission. I wanted to be able to have a family. I wanted my children to have a family in a way that I never had. Right? Does that make sense? You got to push, dude. You got to do shit that. You don't think after 17 years of marriage that it's gotten uncomfortable? Sometimes it's super uncomfortable to stay married. And you do it anyway. You got what you want is on the other side of discomfort. That's what I'm trying to tell you here, right? I mean, it's the same shit like David Goggins and stuff telling you. You guys aren't doing it though. You're not doing it. Stop coasting. Push yourself. Your potential. Do you know what? Potent. Potent. Don't you want somebody to call you potent? Then fulfill your potential. Beer you Bonnie, single or double leg, which one do you find better? Me as a tall, lanky guy, I'm a single leg dude. I'll get that single leg every time. I get it on good guys. Or I used to before my karate dissection. I love a single. I love a single to run the pipe to hopefully a leg lock, like something Achilles or something like that. Or a power Achilles, which looks like the Estima, but it's different. Fulfill destiny now. Marriage is great. I'm 29 years. Holy shit, man. Congratulations. See, dude, you've been uncomfortable at times too. And you push through and you get the commission. You got somebody you can trust. You got like a partner that you can build an empire with, I hope. That's what I got. I hope that you had that as well, my friend. Yeah, dude, single all the way. But that's me. I mean, I'm a tall, lanky guy, particularly the way I was taught, especially the strategies that Billy had. It was much more about tying up than shooting. There's too much. The changing of levels can be problematic when there's knees and guillotines and these other grommets, things of that nature that come from bending over or changing your level. Now, there are people that do it fantastic. I'm not suggesting they change. There's people who are shorter and stocky and are power and that speed and the lack of elevation, the lower center of gravity, fantastic. So if I'm coaching somebody, I will. This is kind of how I opened it up with that other question. I'll look at what they're actually on a case by case basis. There's no cookie cutter. That's like basic think, not even like good thinking. And you shouldn't even be in like the technique level. You should be trying to think conceptually. That's why Billy and I called it this conceptual syllabus. It's more about these overarching principles and concepts. And then it's like Legos. Once you got enough of the bricks, you can make whatever you want, right? Sophie Ann says, marriage makes a man psychologically stable. I don't know, not if you're married to a nut job, but it can if you're married to a good person for sure. And that's regardless of gender. It can make a woman better, make a man better. Fulfill Destiny now says, yes, my wife is awesome. Also, the military has taught me to persevere. So that is one thing that I do find, there's a lot of law enforcement and military personnel that I end up coaching or working with on the wrestling side. I wish more business people, I was working with more military people in the business because I could translate that. Anyway, yeah, perseverance, dude. Persistence prevails where all else fails. I actually texted somebody that this morning. Beer Bonnie, I also prefer single leg. I'm short, but it just feels right, as if it's the piece which was completing the puzzle. Yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. So, like, I don't assume anything about somebody. I will actually, when I'm coaching, this is my approach, but I like it. I will watch. I want to see somebody do it. Everybody wants to explain to me and talk to me, and I'm like, okay, let's turn off the brain and just do. And we see what you do and see what needs to be done and what's the gap between what you do and what needs to be done. And then let's figure that out, most likely through a tweak or two and a lot of repetition to where it becomes the new habit and you've overwritten the old habit. I mean, coaching is so much about persistence, applying knowledge in a persistent way with other people. But, if you want to be a successful coach, I had somebody ask me this the other day. Your number one drive has to be to help people win. That's why I do business coaching. That's why I do grappling coaching. Fulfill Destiny says character, values, and ethics are most important. That's true. That's true because they will shape your decisions. They will shape what you do when you're even afraid, right? Because everybody gets afraid, but what do? Do you act like a coward or are you brave? Bravery can only exist in the presence of fear. And we've all had moments where we were cowards and we've all had moments where we were brave. But you are hoping on net and not just on net that maybe the cowardice were aberrations or anomalies and not the norm, not the regular way that you behave. But, there's a lot of things that go into bravery, I find. One is the old Vince Lombardi bromide that fatigue creates cowards of us all. You've got to be taking care of your health. You've got to make sure you're resting, you're eating properly so that the machine itself works. Second, and the other thing is that's why exercise is important too. Not just the release of the chemicals and stuff that make you not feel like a coward. They make you feel uplifted and powerful. But it actually develops your machine, your body, the meat suit you're in such a way that you can accomplish these things. Sophie Ann says, marriage is like a candle. It may light your life or it may burn you. I mean, yeah, it's true. That's true. So you want to make sure that so I did actually, so that's not true. What I said that I didn't have role models. My grandparents on my dad's side, on my mom's side, they passed away while I was a child. I never got to really ask them for advice or anything. But I asked my grandfather, and they were married like something crazy, like 70 years or something like that, like 65 years or something. And he, gave me some good advice. He's like, man, this ain't a one day deal. You got to make sure that this is somebody you can hang out with. And you got to make sure that they're not the type of person that's going to be a burden. And you've got to make sure that you're not going to be a burden. And you got to make sure you're the kind of person they want to hang out with. And you got to make sure that they're going to make sure they're the person you want to hang out with, right? And then persistently apply that and continually try to improve. Birubani, who is your favorite wrestler? Okay, I don't know under what rule set, or maybe even pro wrestlers. I don't know. I would say my favorite professional wrestler is probably Ultimo Dragon. That's why I went and sought him out and trained at Toriumon, which was the group of kids. Well, T2P was the group of kids that were there when I trained. The year before, what is that name of the guy who's in the champ for New Japan? Because he went through there too. The Rainmaker. Anyway, Ultimo Dragon's probably my favorite pro wrestler. Favorite catch wrestler? I would have to say Billy Robinson, my favorite folk style wrestler. Wade Chalice. I mean, I'm just telling you, dude, like, that's why I sought these guys out, because that's what I wanted to learn and what I thought was important for other people, Olympic wrestling, Dave Schultz, Mark Schultz, probably Mark, honestly. Dave was amazing, but I never got to meet him. Mark is a great human being. Had a really rough, challenging roller coaster of a life. Cool dude. Probably Mark Schultz. But there's a number that I'm very impressed by. But I'll stick with Mark Schultz. Folk style, Wade Chalice. Greco-Roman, probably Karelin. I never got to meet him yet. Favorite catch wrestler in MMA? That's a tough one. I'd have to probably say Josh Barnett, because he's had the biggest impact on my life personally. But Sakuraba was there first before I met Josh, and he was a massive influence on my life too. So that's a hard one. I'd have to ultimately give the edge to Josh Barnett. I don't know. Hope that answered your question. All right, guys, you were able to keep me on here a heck of a lot longer than I intended. I'm happy to. Hit me up in the DMs if I can help you, or if I can help somebody these videos are archived at YouTube, or you can go to YouTube. I broadcast on LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, Spotify, or Instagram, Facebook. Did I say Twitch? I'm trying to get TikTok in there, but some of the technology is difficult to get out. So anyway, if I can help somebody, let me know. You guys hit me up in the DMs. Remember, sign up for the Scientific Wrestling Accelerator Camps. Go to coachingcatch.com. All the info is there. You want to get the best deal. Best deal is actually to become an affiliate. We just added about 5 of them. It's like, great. Dude, this thing's blowing up. I would suggest that, the price is going to go up. It has already. $2,000, and people are still buying it. It's going to go up probably another $4,000 here soon. I would get in. We've got financing options to make. There's no excuse. I swear, it's the best deal you'll ever make if you own a gym. But if you don't want to make that investment in yourself or your business, the season pass is a great deal too. 30% off. Okay, you can get 15% off right now if you sign up before August 1st, though. Just saying. King Mo, Josh Barnett, Wade Chalice, Brandon Ruiz, Sam Crescent, Gil Olivas, Jesse Perez, Harry Smith, myself. Let's go. All right, guys, have a killer day. Make the most of it. Push past that discomfort, all right? Talk to you next time.